Okay. Many years ago, when I was at the ashram, my teacher would speak to us about our potential as beings, as humans. And she would invite us into a metaphor of a bird regarding living our potential in life. And she would remind us to be aware that a bird has two wings. And she would say, in our lives, we can very easily get pulled into the practical side of life, all the details that have to be handled for us to be able to live, have food and shelter and our experiences with each other and all the things that we experience in the physical aspect of the world and all that comes with that, the financial responsibilities and all of, the aspects of life. And she would say, it's very likely that we get pulled into that aspect and focus primarily on all of that. And she would say that that was one of the wings of the bird to be honored, the practical wing of the bird, the physical part of life, that's one of the wings of the bird. And she would say, now, if you are only focusing on that, that's a one-winged bird. And if you imagine a bird with one wing, as it would flap that one wing, it would fly in a circle. And she would say, if you get stuck in that one wing, you'll just be flying in a circle. She would say, we want to remember that the bird has two wings, and the other wing is the realm of spirit, the subtle aspects of reality, the spiritual realm, the realm of divine support and mystery and wonder and delight and creativity and playfulness and dancing and divinity. The subtle aspect. That is also a wing of this two-winged bird. Now, she would say, sometimes when you open up to that wing, that spiritual, subtle dimension of reality, you can get so enamored with that wing that you could also just think that you're just going to live in that wing. And once again, if you do that, it's a one-winged bird that when it would flap that wing, it would fly in a circle. She would say, to really reach our potential as beings, we want to consider including both wings of the bird. That bird can really fly, where we're honoring the practical side of life and we're honoring the spiritual side of life. And when we do, then we start to realize they're actually not separate. They actually go together. The spirit dimension of life and the physical dimension of life are actually the one bird. So prior to everything that we did there that was practical, she would invite us to invite grace. She would say there's great power in the invitation to invite grace, to be willing to ask for help, to open ourselves up to the subtle mystery of life, the inherent wonder and divinity and the divine help that's available to us. Prior to everything we would do there, we would invite grace. Prior to how we would have our food, we would invite grace. Prior to having tea, we would invite grace. Prior to chanting, we would invite grace. Prior to our meditation practices, we would invite grace. Prior to our seva, every afternoon we would do 3 hours of work at the ashram to help the ashram function. You might be washing dishes or folding laundry or cleaning floors, various activities for 3 hours every day. And prior to doing that, we would invite grace. Prior to everything, we would invite grace. So we're including the spirit, the grace wing, as we get ready to do the practical wing. Then we start to realize it's actually one bird. They're not separate. When we include both wings of the bird, that bird can really fly.